In the heart of a dense and foreboding forest lay an abandoned natural area known as the Whispering Grove. Legend had it that those who entered its depths were forever trapped, their desperate cries swallowed by the ever-present murmur of the trees. It was a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place where reality and nightmare intertwined. One gloomy evening, Emily found herself standing at the forest's edge. She couldn't recall how she had arrived or why she was there. The last thing she remembered was a blurred image of a deserted road fading away in the rearview mirror of her car. Panic set in as she surveyed her surroundings. The tall, ancient trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwined like skeletal fingers reaching out to ensnare her. Emily stumbled through the twisted underbrush, trying to make sense of her predicament. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness, and the only sound that dared break through was the haunting melody of the wind as it rustled the leaves. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The fading light cast long, eerie shadows, and Emily's sense of time warped in the unsettling ambience of the Whispering Grove. She stumbled upon a dilapidated sign partially hidden by encroaching vines. The words, "Welcome to Whispering Grove Natural Area," were barely legible, as if etched by ghostly hands. It sent shivers down her spine, and a sense of dread settled in the pit of her stomach. As Emily ventured deeper into the heart of the grove, the trees seemed to close in around her, the narrow path winding further into a labyrinth of gnarled roots and ancient foliage. The shadows danced, taking on a life of their own, and the whispering grew louder, an indistinguishable murmur that echoed through the twisted branches. Exhaustion and fear gripped Emily's heart as she realized there was no escape. The forest had ensnared her in its otherworldly grasp. Every step she took led her deeper into a realm that defied logic and reason. She tried to scream, but her voice was drowned out by the incessant whispers that seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the trees. As night descended, the grove transformed into a realm of nightmares. Strange, ethereal lights flickered between the trees, casting an eerie glow that revealed glimpses of distorted figures lurking just beyond the shadows. Unearthly sounds echoed through the darkness. Whispers turned into guttural moans and distant cries that sent shivers down Emily's spine. Time lost its meaning in the Whispering Grove. Emily wandered aimlessly, haunted by the elusive hope of finding an exit. The trees seemed to mock her, their twisted forms closing in like a prison with no visible walls. Desperation clawed at her, and a sense of isolation enveloped her like a suffocating fog. Days turned into nights, and nights into an unending cycle of torment. Emily's once vibrant spirit waned, replaced by a hollow emptiness. She had become a mere wisp in the vast, desolate expanse of the Whispering Grove. One fateful night, as Emily stumbled through the thicket, she heard a distinct voice cutting through the cacophony of whispers. It was a mournful cry, a plea for release that echoed through the ancient trees. Following the sound, Emily stumbled upon a clearing where a spectral figure stood, a woman, much like herself. The apparition's eyes met Emily's, and a silent understanding passed between them. The ghostly woman beckoned, her ethereal form shimmering in the moonlight. With no words spoken, Emily knew the truth. They were kindred spirits, both ensnared by the malevolent grip of the Whispering Grove. Together, they faced the unending nightmare, two souls forever lost in a natural area that defied all reason. The whispers persisted, the shadows danced, and the grove held its secrets close, swallowing the desperate cries of those trapped within its eternal embrace. As Emily and the ghostly woman forged an unspoken alliance, the Whispering Grove seemed to react with a sinister awareness. The very fabric of the forest pulsated with an ancient malevolence, as if resentful of the connection forming between the two women. Shadows deepened, and the whispering intensified, as though the grove itself sought to drown out their bond. In the heart of the clearing, an ancient, gnarled tree stood as a spectral sentinel. Its bark bore the etchings of forgotten tales, and its twisted limbs reached out like skeletal fingers pointing accusingly at the intruders. The air grew thick with an oppressive force, and the temperature plummeted, sending a chill through Emily's bones. The ghostly woman, her eyes pools of sorrowful wisdom, beckoned Emily closer. With each step, the ground beneath Emily's feet felt like shifting sands, as if the grove sought to disorient and confuse. It became apparent that the spectral figure held the key to their salvation, yet unlocking the mystery required traversing a treacherous path. As the two women delved deeper into the heart of the clearing, a spectral mist materialized around them, weaving illusions that played on their deepest fears. The shadows manifested into phantoms that whispered malicious secrets, exploiting vulnerabilities long buried in the recesses of their minds. Emily felt the weight of guilt, regret, and fear clawing at her sanity. In this surreal dreamscape, time twisted and contorted, and the distinction between reality and nightmare blurred. Faces of lost souls appeared in the mist, their hollow eyes pleading for release. The ghostly woman, undeterred, led Emily through the maze of torment, her ethereal presence a beacon in the suffocating darkness. Finally, at the base of the ancient tree, the ghostly woman turned to Emily with a knowing gaze. She extended a spectral hand, inviting Emily to touch the bark that held the secrets of the grove. As Emily hesitated, a cacophony of anguished wails echoed around them, reverberating through the twisted branches. With a deep breath, Emily placed her hand on the ancient bark. A surge of energy coursed through her, visions flashing before her eyes like rapid-fire snapshots of forgotten memories. The grove, it seemed, fed on the emotions and memories of those it ensnared, trapping them in an eternal loop of torment. Together, Emily and the ghostly woman confronted the haunting visions, reliving moments of pain, loss, and betrayal. The grove resisted, throwing illusions like a malevolent puppeteer trying to maintain control. Yet, through sheer determination and the strength of their newfound connection, the two women persevered. As the vision subsided, the ghostly woman whispered words of gratitude. The gnarled tree, once a harbinger of torment, now exuded a calming energy. The oppressive force that held them captive began to wane, and the shadows retreated, revealing a path leading out of the clearing. The grove, seemingly defeated, released its grasp on Emily and her spectral companion. As they stepped out of the clearing and into the moonlit expanse beyond, a sense of liberation enveloped them. The forest, once a nightmarish labyrinth, now seemed to exhale a sigh of resignation. However, as they ventured towards the edge of the Whispering Grove, the ghostly woman turned to Emily with a bittersweet smile. It was a farewell that needed no words. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, the spectral figure dissolved into the morning mist, leaving Emily standing alone at the edge of the cursed natural area. With the first rays of sunlight, the Whispering Grove receded into the shadows, concealing its malevolent secrets once more. Emily emerged from the depths of the forest, forever changed by the ordeal. The memories of the grove lingered, a haunting reminder of a place where reality and nightmare entwined. As Emily walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the Whispering Grove, though subdued, still whispered its secrets to those willing to listen. And so, the legend of the forsaken natural area endured, a cautionary tale for those who dared to tread too close to the boundary between the living and the supernatural. Years passed since Emily escaped the clutches of the Whispering Grove. The memories of her harrowing experience haunted her dreams, a constant reminder of the thin veil that separated the known from the unknown. Despite her best efforts to move on, the supernatural whispers lingered in the recesses of her mind. Haunted by an inexplicable curiosity, Emily dedicated herself to understanding the mysteries of the Whispering Grove. She delved into ancient texts, sought out forgotten folklore, and consulted experts in the paranormal. Yet, the grove remained elusive, its secrets guarded by an otherworldly force. One stormy night, Emily received an old, weathered journal in the mail. Its pages were filled with cryptic symbols and first-hand accounts of those who had encountered the Whispering Grove. The sender remained anonymous, but the journal held the promise of unlocking the remaining enigmas surrounding the accursed natural area. Driven by a relentless determination, Emily returned to the edge of the Whispering Grove. The air crackled with an eerie energy, and the wind carried faint echoes of the haunting whispers. Armed with the mysterious journal, Emily ventured into the heart of the forest once more. As she followed the twisted paths, the journal seemed to resonate with the grove's energy. The symbols on its pages glowed faintly, guiding her through the labyrinthine depths. The whispers intensified, morphing into fragmented voices pleading for release. Emily reached the clearing where she had encountered the ghostly woman. The ancient tree stood as a silent witness, its bark bearing the scars of countless stories. With a mixture of trepidation and anticipation, Emily opened the journal and began deciphering the symbols. The air thickened with a palpable tension as the grove resisted the intrusion. Visions of the past flashed before Emily's eyes, the history of the Whispering Grove, its connection to forgotten rituals, and the tragic fates of those who had once been entwined in its grasp. The ancient tree, it seemed, held the memories of generations. As Emily unraveled the mysteries, the grove's malevolence recoiled, and the whispers transformed into a chorus of anguish. The forest convulsed with spectral energy, the very essence of the grove fighting against the revelation of its darkest secrets. With each revelation, the ethereal barrier weakened. The ancient tree groaned, its branches contorting as if in pain. Emily persisted, fueled by the belief that understanding the grove's past held the key to breaking its curse. Finally, as the last symbols were deciphered, a blinding light engulfed the clearing. The grove trembled, and the whispers crescendoed into a final, mournful wail. The spectral mist dissipated, leaving Emily standing alone in the newfound silence. The Whispering Grove, stripped of its malevolence, revealed a transformed natural area bathed in the soft light of dawn. The gnarled tree, once a symbol of torment, now stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As Emily emerged from the grove, a weight lifted from her shoulders. The curse had been broken, and the legend of the Whispering Grove dissolved into the annals of history. The forest, no longer a prison, thrived with newfound life. Yet, as Emily walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the whispers had not entirely faded. The forest, though freed from its malevolent grip, retained a mystical aura. The knowledge gleaned from the journal had lifted the curse, but the Whispering Grove would forever remain a place where the boundaries between the ordinary and the supernatural were thin. Emily, now armed with the wisdom of the ages, carried the stories of the Whispering Grove with her. The haunting whispers may have subsided, but the forest's secrets had become a part of her, a reminder that some mysteries were meant to be respected and left undisturbed. And so, the legend of the Whispering Grove continued to weave its enigmatic tale through the fabric of time, a cautionary whisper for those who dared to venture too close to the edge of the unknown.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.